A revelation hidden in the fire. A transmission by Starling. Sometimes life asks questions before it offers answers. A door closes, a relationship ends, a dream falls apart, a path disappears into the fog, and almost immediately the mind begins searching. Why is this happening? What am I supposed to learn? What does this mean? But perhaps there is another possibility. Perhaps the story is not ready to explain itself yet. Perhaps you are standing in the middle of a chapter that cannot be fully understood while you are still living inside it. And perhaps that is not a failure. Perhaps that is simply how revelation works. There is something I wish someone had told me sooner. Not when life was easy, not when everything was working, but when everything I thought I understood began falling apart. Because when life changes unexpectedly, the mind immediately begins searching for explanations. It wants answers. It wants certainty. It wants to know why. And when those answers do not arrive, it often assumes something has gone wrong. But over the years, I have noticed something. Many of the most important revelations in my life did not arrive while I was living through the experience itself. They arrived later, sometimes much later. Long after the fire had burned down, long after the fog had lifted, long after I stopped demanding immediate understanding. Looking back now, I can see things I never could have seen at the time. I can see how certain endings redirected my path, how certain losses revealed hidden strengths, how certain disappointments quietly guided me towards something I would never have discovered otherwise. Not because those experiences were easy, not because I enjoyed them, but because the story continued. And with time, I could finally see what was invisible while I was standing inside it. For a long time, I believed that understanding should arrive immediately. If something painful happened, I wanted to know why. If a door closed, I wanted to know what would open next. If a chapter ended, I wanted to understand what it was trying to teach me. But life rarely works that way. Most of the revelations that shaped me were invisible while I was living through them. I could only see them later. Looking back, the revelation was usually visible in the rearview mirror, not the windshield. And that realization changed something inside me. Because it gave me permission to stop demanding immediate answers from experiences that were still unfolding. It gave me permission to not know. Permission to stand in uncertainty without assuming something had gone wrong. Permission to trust that understanding might arrive later, not because life was withholding it, but because some truths need distance before they can be seen. And strangely enough, that permission brought more peace than many of the answers I spent years searching for. So if you are standing in the middle of something you do not understand right now, if the road ahead has disappeared into the fog, if a chapter of your life feels confusing, painful, uncertain, or unfinished, I want you to know something. You do not have to solve it tonight. You do not have to force meaning from it. You do not have to rush toward understanding. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is simply acknowledge where you are. To say, I don't understand this yet, and then leave room for the story to continue. Because the revelation may already be there. You may simply not be able to see it yet. That does not mean the revelation is absent. It does not mean the story is broken. It does not mean you are lost. It may simply mean that you are standing too close to the fire to see what it will eventually illuminate. And that is okay. More than okay. It is human. There was a time when I believed peace would arrive the moment I understood everything. But peace did not arrive through certainty. It arrived through trust, through learning that I did not need to force every answer into view, through learning that some chapters reveal their meaning only after they have become memories, through learning that life is often still working, even when I cannot yet see where it is leading. And perhaps that is what I wish to leave with you. Not an explanation. Not a promise that every fire will make sense. Simply the reminder that the story may be larger than the page you are standing on today. And sometimes that possibility is enough to keep walking. May you trust the road even when you cannot see where it leads. May you allow the story to unfold in its own time. May you find the courage to keep walking when the answers have not yet arrived. And may you remember, when the fire feels brightest, that some revelations can only be seen after the smoke has cleared. Until then, be gentle with yourself. The revelation may already be there. You may simply not be able to see it yet.